right, so the first thing that we need to do is actually give you a definition of the difference between leadership and management so that you're on the same page as me and you understand that they're not interchangeable words. Leadership and management mean two completely different things. And you should be able to sum up after I give you this definition of whether you've been just managing or whether you've been leading. So I did some hunting around this morning because I wanted to give you a really clear definition, and I actually found one that that I was pretty happy with. So I'm just going to share this one with you here. So it says leadership is about motivating people to comprehend and believe in the vision you set for the company and to work with you on achieving those goals. While management is more about administering the work and ensuring the day-to-day activities are getting done as they should be. So you can think about leadership as that above the line stuff where you have to actively get your people engaged in where it is you're trying to go. While the management stuff is that in the business below the line stuff, like ensuring that workflow happens as per your set systems and procedures, ensuring that people are following the systems, making sure that productivity is where you want, where efficiency is where you want. So yes, management does involve the people, but leadership is about what motivates the people to do that. So I'm hoping that you can see here that there is a very big difference between the two. Let me know in the chat box, just with a I get it, if you are understanding the difference between leadership and management. So what I'm going to share with you today around leadership is a little exercise that I want you to perform in order for you to actually assess the people on your team right now and whether you actually are going to have any hope of them buying into your vision so that you can lead them. And it's something that we've shared with our engine roomers before. And it's really, really simple. And it's something that you can all access and read up more on because it comes from a book that is already published by Patrick Lencioni, who wrote The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. So what I'm sharing with you here is 3 words that you can use to assess everyone that's on your team right now. And those 3 words are what you can see on the screen: humble, hungry, and smart. Now, there's an explanation for each of those words. So let me go through those before you abandon this video and think, oh, what's she talking about now? Just hang in there because these 3 words will change the way you look at your team and the way you recruit forever. So what we learn from the book, The Ideal Team Player, is how to evaluate people. And the first way to do that is by measuring the first person that you think of in your team against the word humble. Now, let me explain humble to you. So a person that is humble does not have a self-worth problem, okay? They are, innately confident. Somebody with innate confidence and natural confidence needs to be distinguished from somebody that is cocky. That's a word we use in Australia. I apologize for our Northern Hemisphere friends if you don't understand what that word means. But it means that the confidence comes from their ego being a bit over the top, rather than them just knowing, yep, I'm good here. I don't need the spotlight. I don't need constant praise. I don't need my employer to constantly fill me up with attention and significance in order to feel good. Okay, so humble is somebody who will do what they need to do and won't seek your constant attention and praise for it. So that's the first thing that we measure somebody by. Are they humble? We want people with a natural sense of self-confidence. Doesn't unnecessarily seek the spotlight, doesn't unnecessarily seek your attention, doesn't unnecessarily seek your praise. You are not trying to fill a void in them. The second thing that we're looking at is hungry. So with hungry, is this person constantly self-motivated to not only get the work done, but they do it with passion? And you don't have to ask them to do more than what is naturally expected in their role. So this is something that you'll notice somebody doesn't have if they're not hungry. They might stretch all of their jobs out to suit the length of the day rather than just smashing through the work and then coming to you and saying, okay, they're done. I recognize you don't have any more cars for me. What else would you like me to do? How can I help? Okay, that's hunger. Okay, so we've got humble, natural sense of self-confidence, hungry, want to jump in there, want to help. They might get there early, they might stay late without you having to ask, and they do it with some passion. And then smart. Now, smart actually stands for people smart. Does this person, are they good with interacting with other people? So are they good at interacting with the other people in your team, with you, with the customers if they've got a customer facing role? Someone who's not people smart often doesn't have a filter between their brain and their mouth. And when they have conversations with people, they can often offend easily. Somebody who has people smarts knows how to listen, has empathy, has awareness, and we need those type of people to be in customer facing roles. And also we need those type of people to be able to interact in your team comfortably on a daily basis. So SMART stands for people smart. Somebody who doesn't have people smart may also lack humility. So they may not have self-confidence and therefore may lack the confidence in being able to be in conversations with other people. So often these two a lack of it will go together. Now, once you've run the particular person on your team that you're thinking of in your mind through these 3 words, you need to score a point for each one. You can't score half points, so it's a score out of 3. Now, if the person you're thinking of has a score of 3 out of 3, then great. You've got somebody that you can lead. If your person has scored 2 out of 3, you need to closely look at where they haven't scored a point and ask yourself, is there potential for this person to be trained up in that area? In most cases, the answer would be yes. If you've got somebody that doesn't have people smarts, sometimes just a conversation around, hey, are you aware that when you have this type of conversation, it sounds quite harsh or it sounds insensitive? Sometimes that's enough to reset that person and for them to be more mindful. If they're not hungry though, after offering them the opportunity to understand what hunger looks like and what you'd need to see from them, if you didn't see an improvement there, then you would need to consider performance management and perhaps that person's not right for your team. It is difficult to effectively lead somebody who is not hungry. Because remember from our definition just before, leadership is about the motivation required to get people to buy into your vision. And if someone's not hungry and isn't doing things with passion, then it's difficult to motivate them to do anything other than just the minimum requirement. If they're not humble, so this indicates that they're either insecure and require your constant praise and attention. They're a bit of an egomaniac and they dominate with their attitude and their conversations over the rest of the team. Then you have to have a discussion around how to make that person aware of that And once again, if you aren't able to rein that in, you need to think about the long-term effects of that person remaining on the team for the rest of the team. Because remember, the team looks for what you tolerate rather than what you preach. Now, if you've got somebody that scores a 1 out of 3, you've got 2 options here. You need to consider, number 1, do you want them on the team? If the answer to that is yes, then your question is, okay, are they in the wrong seat on the bus? And if so, are they open to moving to another role? And are they willing to be retrained? They're the 2 questions that you need to put to them for them to remain on the team. So remember, there's no half points here. Somebody's not half humble, half hungry, or half people smart. They either are or they aren't. And I want you to run through in your mind, or even get out some paper, each person on your team, and I want you to evaluate them for humble, hungry, and smart, because then we can work out where we need to develop in certain people on the team, or who we potentially are identifying is not worthy or is not a fit for our team, so that we can move them on and re-recruit. Then we know who we're working with to lead. Now, you should also be using these 3 words when you are recruiting. Measure up the people who are applying for employment with you against humble, hungry, and smart. Tailor your questions in your interviews in order to give you the answers around whether they're humble, hungry, and smart. When you're doing reference checks, and I hope that you aren't missing that step, ask their former employers, did you have to constantly fill them up with praise? Do they have a natural sense of self-confidence? Were they over the top with their egos? Were they hungry? Did they act with passion? How are they interacting with the rest of the team and with your customers? Did you ever have any issues where team or customers were offended by the things that they said? These simple 3 words can help you evaluate an entire team and the people that come to work with you to make sure that they are going to fit in with the values that you have. If you don't have team values, if you haven't done that exercise, you can borrow these 3 values and measure everyone up against them until you do have a set of team values. And I strongly encourage you to use these 3 as part of that team value set. So in summary, the idea of leadership is that we have people to motivate to buy into our vision so that we can get them to be motivated enough to do the task we need them to do every day so that the business works. But first, we must evaluate if we've got the right people there to do that. So I strongly encourage you to use these 3 words. Do this exercise today. If you want some more background on it, then I highly recommend you get onto Audible or order the hardcover copy of The Ideal Team Player by Patrick Lencioni. Great book, told in a story, told in a fable. So it's really easy to understand. I hope you found that useful. Make sure if there's somebody who is you want to see this video, then make sure you tag them in the comments. Let me know if you're on live or if you're catching the replay. And I'd love to hear your insights about what you think about how you can apply humble, hungry, and smart. Catch you again soon.